Alright, here's all the Jingle Bells ones. I can't find the chord again that makes them interact, so none of them are going to be, like, interacting. They're all going to be, like, playing separately. So. She'll start moving. She always does that first. That's it for 5 minutes. If I had the interaction chord, I would have had that set interacting. That's my first Santa. That's my first Mrs. Claus. That's my second Santa. That's my second Mrs. Claus. And that one and that one are my third set. I always have that one interact. Those two are pretty much the same pitch. They're both like higher pitch. And that one's using batteries, and it's a little lower pitch, but that one's actually just a low pitch one. But it's not as low pitch as there's really, really low pitch ones. Like the batteries aren't completely fresh, and the batteries aren't really low either. So it's kind of a in between. But that one's just normally low pitch, but not extremely. Like Mr. Santa Collector used to have a set that was like super, super low pitch, and I always wanted one that pitch. This one's close. I mean, especially if you use it with low batteries, it definitely gets that low pitch. But the one he had was just sounded like the batteries were low, even plugged in with an adapter. So, and then both of those Mrs. Clauses are low pitch ones. They're basically the same, and that one's somewhat high pitch. Usually, though, the Mrs. Clauses are never really high pitch when they're separate. They're almost always lower pitch, the Mrs. Clauses. But that's always going to be my favorite Mrs. Claus. Like, see, the hat is always like floppy, but I just love the way that one looks and the way it's always worked. So I don't think I'll like any Mrs. Claus as much as I like that one. That's just always been my favorite Mrs. Claus. I hardly ever use those two. I always have that one out, no matter what. I think it's almost been 5 minutes already, so I think they'll start. See, the more lower pitch they are, the longer they take to start up again too. So it makes a difference on how long they stop for. Oh wow. Oh wait, that one's hat fell off. I just noticed.
Christmas.
Out of all my rock climbing, I've had that one since my birthday in 2009, and that one's head has never broke. And I hope it never does, because that one's head works amazing. I don't think I would ever be able to get it to work that good if it did break. I'm surprised, because all my originals, all the ones I've had from back then have broke except for that one, pretty much. And the Mrs. Clauses, their heads never break. Like, it's because they're smaller. Like, so when they fall over, like, they don't get hit and break the pegs that move the heads. Like, if those fall backwards, they instantly break because it basically cracks the peg off. And plus, the beard has a lot of weight to it, so, yeah. But I've never, ever seen a Mrs. Claus with a broken head, and I don't think they do break. Just because of how small the head is, there's no pressure on the pegs.
Dashing through the snow, dashing through the snow, in a one-horse sleigh, over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells keep on tolling, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing, sleigh fun tonight. Hey, jingle